She was the centerpiece of the Elimination Chamber with 52,000 plus at Optus Stadium in Perth. It was the WWE's biggest shows here since, the Super Showdown at the MCG with 70,000 and back to global warning at Marvel Stadium in 2002 that drew 57,000. So it was interesting on a couple of fronts. Is what's Australia's place in the grand scheme of things and what events might come here off the back of that? And the main one was to hail Rhea Ripley's rise within the WWE, and to hear Triple H talk about her in the lead up to it was to understand that she is one of their great superstars. Her family was ringside, and it was all really rather beautiful. Our man Nims Azur was there. He's got his Elimination Chamber merch on as we meet today. Hello to you, Nims.
Good morning, Gerard. How are you?
A good show.
It was absolutely fantastic. And a big contribution to that was the venue was tremendous and the fans turned up. Everyone went all in on the premium live event. And I got to say, I've been to a WrestleMania event before. This was better. This was just so much better. We absolutely showed the Americans how to do it. And it was just a stellar effort for all.
It had such a build up over 3 days. What do you think it told the WWE about Australia's place for them?
Well, the sell was, and they even had a press event beforehand. It wasn't to the extent of the one that you went to in Vegas, with The Rock and everything like that, but they had a press event outside Optus Stadium. Now, it was about 37 degrees, and somehow 4,000 fans were hanging outside the front of Optus Stadium. There were chants of, "We want sunscreen. Can we have water?" To which Triple H, who is not just a character, but one of the heads of the WWE, came out and threw bottles of water and sunscreen into the crowd. It was just a phenomenal turnout. Perth, actually, and all of WA it was really put into the spotlight. And to every person watching at home, from what I've read on Twitter, everyone was saying, "Wow, Perth looks brilliant. Australia looks great." How did they turned up in the most remote capital city of the country? Everyone came.
What sort of emotion swirled around Rhea Ripley so she was the main event. We've documented previously when she won this title at WrestleMania last year. She was front page of the Adelaide Advertiser. So what she's been able to do within that company, what it means to her and more broadly.
She was also front page of the West Australian the following day as well. And I'm sure she would have taken up the back page, but I think that was another Harley Reid story. But but this entire event was sort of set around her homecoming. She's already had big moments. You spoke to her after she won her championship against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania last year, but this entire event was catered to showcase Rhea Ripley. She's only 27 years old, yet she's going to be one of the brightest superstars for the WWE. It was really nice because the entire event was bookended by two Australians. The opening match was Indy Hartwell, who's a local girl from Melbourne. She made her way up through the ranks, trained in Ferntree Gully at a wrestling facility there, and made her way throughout the independent scene. She got a huge roar at the start. So everyone was thinking, if that was for Indy Hartwell, what's it going to be like for Perth? And I know you've been to Optus Stadium, Gerard. It is a phenomenal place. And when they pack it with pyro and fireworks, the light show, it was sensational. And it was a very emotional time for Rhea as well. You could see when she was coming down the ramp, there were times where she almost looked like she was about to tear up, but then obviously had to realize, wait a minute, back into character. Let's
Yes.
not let the moment overwhelm her.
So that's right. It's more Margot Robbie than it is Sam Kerr. So you have to keep that in mind. In the aftermath, when Rhea was surrounded by her family when she did the post-show interview.
It's hard to put into words exactly how special this is, to be honest. I'm still so taken back by the crowd reaction, actually seeing my family out there. And to be completely honest, at the very end, when I had that extra time to myself, I let it fully soak in. And it's funny because I had a weird flashback of my last match here in Australia. And I defended my title then. I left champion because mommy's always on top, you know. But I remember sitting in the middle of the ring and just soaking it all in and soaking up the crowd and just letting them in and letting them affect me in a way that I don't really try and let them affect me. And I did the same thing tonight without even meaning to, and it just gave me that flashback, and it was a real wholesome moment for me. It really was.
It was lovely. And her sister, her mom, and her dad. So I think she had 13 family members there, Nims.
Yeah, and she also had a couple of her Riot City Wrestling from Adelaide, colleagues that were there in the audience as well. It was a really good moment, and to have 52, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like. It almost seems like it's a 21st to the max with 52 people, 52,000 people chanting your name. But it was to the WWE's credit. With past shows, you mentioned that we had in 2002 Global Warning Tour and we had Super Showdown at the MCG. But for those that don't know wrestling too much, I had to explain this to a friend. If you see the Royal Rumble as rounds 16 to 22 for the AFL season, Elimination Chamber is the finals before you move on to WrestleMania, the grand final. So for the WWE to actually have a show that impacted on story, that had all of the top stars, Logan Paul was there. Randy Orton was there. Big names came down for this show. Triple H, as I mentioned, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. The WWE really went all in on this. And I really hope that it's not the last time that we're going to see the WWE on our shores with a proper show.
Nims, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing it with us today.
An absolute pleasure, Jared. Look forward to seeing you when I'm back in the studio.
Good on you. Nims Azur, he was there at the Elimination Chamber and where Australia fits in the grand scheme of these major WWE events. I didn't mind this. Brett sent through. West Australians turn up to the WWE but refuse to turn up to their test match. Strange lot over there. Brett in Bacchus Marsh. Good on you. We'll have a chat with Dwayne and set you up for Midday Madness next.